Welcome to another edition of the MMA RunDown. I'm Drew Shannon. This is Albert Cameron. How you doing, buddy?
Having a great day, Drew. We have a great episode this week. Drew, why don't you tell us what some we got?
Well, we've got news and notes. We also have another Albert Cameron created segment. What if Royce Gracie had been beaten in UFC 1? How would the landscape of mixed martial arts, well, how would that have evolved into what we have today? That's going to be interesting to talk to you about. Our spotlight fight coming up, the email bag, the rundown lowdown featuring Lenny Karlheim, and that is post-fight from Complete Devastation MMA 6. All of that coming up next on the MMA Rundown. Don't you go anywhere. Welcome back to the MMA Rundown. It's time for news and notes.
Drew, take us away.
All right, it's go time. Pennsylvania has begun adopting new amateur rules. Now, Albert, how would this affect the fights the fans in Pennsylvania will see? What rules are we talking about here?
It's going to affect the fight fans in Pennsylvania in a very, very good way. There are a lot of amateur fighters in Pennsylvania who refuse to fight in Pennsylvania because the rules are so restrictive. They can't strike to the ground, to the head anyway. They have to wear shin pads. Neck cranks are illegal on the ground. Period. Elbows are just out.
Right.
What Executive Director Gregory Serb is saying, he's introducing a tier plan where a guy who has fought quite a bit in amateur fights is going to be able to take advantage of some of these more advanced techniques. Let's say Drew's an amateur fighter. Drew is going to debut an amateur. He still has to wear the shin pads, no elbow strikes, no strikes to the head. He's also strike to the body. He gets his third fight in. I'm not sure if it's third win or third fight, but now Drew is able to start striking to the head. He's able to start using the elbow techniques. And this is all a plan to try to graduate the amateur fighters into a pro scene to try to make MMA amateur fights a lot more exciting. And I think Executive Director Serb is on the good path with getting that done. It is not set in stone yet. It still has to pass the Pennsylvania House and Senate. But usually when Director Serb says this is a good idea, the House agrees with him because the man is the expert in sports.
He's a well-respected individual in the state of Pennsylvania in the athletics.
He's a great guy.
That he is. All right. By the way, it'd be my third win, I'm thinking. Just getting that out there.
We're not sure. The York Post broke the story, and no one was clear if it was third fight or third win.
I'm a lover, not a fighter. So
I'd agree with you. That's probably third win.
Moving on, UFC 151 cancellation. There's a lot of fallout from this. $40 million lost in revenue for UFC. Unbelievable.
It's not $40 million lost in revenue. It's $40 million out of their pocket.
Oh, out of their pocket.
Out of their pocket.
Wow.
I am tired of hearing about UFC 151 being canceled. Like, I'm tired of hearing about that story when at Thanksgiving the grandma tells everyone when she's had a couple.
Why did you write it down?
Because it's actually a big deal. Because again, UFC didn't lose $40 million in revenue; they lost $40 million out of bottom line. And as much as I'm tired of hearing about UFC 151, that is a pretty big deal because UFC is a very big organization. If a lot of other companies were to lose $40 million, they'd have to close their doors.
Right.
So the fact that UFC is taking a hit, but they're still bringing us quality fights now. It was just announced a couple of days ago that Strikeforce will now be canceling their upcoming event where Gilbert Melendez was supposed to fight on.
He's so upset because he's stammering.
Well, I like watching Gilbert Melendez fight, and the fact that these shows are canceling fights kind of bothers me a little bit.
I can understand.
If the UFC had kept their farm leagues like the WEC and the WFA, they would be promoting these smaller shows, and they'd have all these farm leagues to take talent from.
Right.
They say, hey, you're a big deal in WEC, but once you come up to the UFC, you'll fight the lower card, we'll promote one of the mid-card fights. If the UFC would do this and stop having a fight card every other week, they wouldn't have this problem with stretching each other thin and fighters getting hurt training for these big fights.
$40 million out of their own pocket. That's just a drop in the bucket to Dana White. He's rich. He'll make up. He'll make it up. MMA Uncensored staying live due to huge ratings. MMA shows are just in demand. That's all there is to it.
I'm going to say we, as MMA shows, we really are. And it's because MMA is becoming such a big sport, and our fans are so intelligent that they're looking for this base knowledge that to help them understand the fights better. And the MMA Uncensored is a great show, and if you guys are watching, I'd love to guest host with you. That'd be great. Well, I got to bring him with me too. But these shows are...
What's wrong with that?
No, it's a good thing.
Okay,
it's
I was going to say.
Yeah, I got the brains, you got the looks. Let's go make lots of money. But these shows are such a big deal because people are able to watch these MMA shows, get details about fights that they weren't before. Have you ever seen a TV show about boxing to get you better understanding with the sport?
Not that I can recall, at least not in my lifetime.
Exactly. I mean, you have things like SportsCenter who may touch on boxing, but I mean, have you ever sat down to try to understand boxing and have a resource bring you information?
I think HBO had Inside Boxing, if I'm not mistaken.
But you get HBO?
Well, no.
No, and you guys clearly get the show that you're watching right now. So, I mean, these shows are becoming bigger, so kudos to you guys for watching. Always support your local MMA TV shows.
All right, and Russian fighter Ali Bagan, help me with this.
Bogatanov.
I should have known that. Just sound it out. Ali Bogatanov wins his latest fight, but not before losing his ear. A little Mick Foley action happening there.
You ever get those videos where you really wish someone would be like, whoa, don't do that?
Yeah.
Ali, and it's because his last name is difficult to pronounce and I don't have the oration skills to pronounce it. He's winning the fight. He's got a guillotine choke on his opponent. Now, this is a fight out of Russia, so I'm not sure how current this information is. Sometimes it does take a lot of time for us to get news from Europe over here.
Right.
But he won the fight, and his trainer comes over and automatically puts like the towel to his ear because he'd lost his ear. Now, this is news and noteworthy because I wanted to tell you about it. It kind of creeped me out a little bit, and I had to share it with someone. And who better than our viewing audience?
Yes, Albert loves to share the stories of guys losing ears, apparently.
What?
That's going to do it for news and notes. Coming up, what if Royce Gracie had been beaten at UFC 1? This guy's going to tell you. It's the MMA Rundown. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the MMA Rundown, another Albert Cameron original segment. What if Royce Gracie had been beaten at UFC 1?
Royce Gracie is the godfather of American mixed martial arts. He's the guy that the news sources, that John McCain was picketing these events and saying, oh, these shows are bloodbaths, but it really started with good intentions. The Gracie brothers said, hey, we want to go out and we want to prove that our jiu-jitsu is better than everybody else. And so they built the Ultimate Fighting Championships around, can anybody beat the Gracies? Royce Gracie went for UFC 1, 2, and he had to drop out of 3. Just completely dominating guys. Royce Gracie was maybe 185 pounds, taking on guys twice his size, and just really dominating. Now the question is, if Royce Gracie had been beaten at UFC 1, would modern MMA exist as we know it? Maybe. I don't think it would be as prominent because from UFC 1, Royce Gracie, he beat Gerard Gardeau with a rear naked choke. So then the Gracie brothers like, hey, you know what? We got to do this again. We got to put Royce up against anybody. He won at UFC 2. Why mess with a sure thing? They put him up against UFC 3, and from there, it really kept going. So if Royce had been beaten, would the Gracie brothers have been so inclined to put on a UFC 2? Probably not. If Royce Gracie had been beaten, they would have proved, oh, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu isn't as bad as what we think it is. Now, it is... Gracie Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a very, very formidable martial art. To this day, everyone trains it. It's one of those things that if you don't train Jiu-Jitsu, you're probably not going to compete.
Right.
Now, the question is, who in that tournament could have beaten Royce Gracie? Well, we know it wasn't Pat Smith. Pat Smith got taken out by Ken Shamrock. Art One Glove Jimerson. The rules of the UFC 1 were no gloves. He shows up wearing one boxing glove. He looked like a cartoon character off of Disney.
Nice.
We had Gerard Gardeau, who actually went to the finals. Well, Royce Gracie proved it wasn't going to be him because he beat him. There was a sumo wrestler who had his teeth knocked into the front row. from Gerard Gardell. Couldn't have been him. I think if anyone had the opportunity to beat Royce Gracie at UFC 1, it would have been Ken Shamrock had he not been caught in that gi choke. And the reason I say that is no one on that card understood submissions like Royce Gracie did, like Ken Shamrock. I don't think Ken Shamrock would have beat him easily. I think it would have been like one of those long drawn-out fights. But if anyone could have done it, it would have been Ken. Now, what we're kind of neglecting here is MMA at the same time is already being transformed over in Japan because we got Carl Gotch going over showing guys how to shoot wrestle. And from those shoot wrestling matches, we got the UWF, we got Pancrase. So MMA would still be growing over there regardless if Gracie had won in the United States or not. It would have transplanted over to the United States. I think if it had gone that way, we'd just be now kind of watching Japanese MMA on like Dateline, like the World's Worst Sports or something like that. But fortunately, the Royce Gracie did win. We have modern MMA as we know it. Albert Cameron going on record saying if anyone could have beaten Royce Gracie, it would have been Ken Shamrock.
And it would have been a completely different story had he been beaten at UFC 1.
Completely different.
All right. Coming up, our Spotlight Fight. It's the moment you guys look forward to every single week. This week, Antwan, the Perfect Storm Penn, taking on Brent Shoenfelt. And this is from Complete Devastation MMA 6.
It was that fight where you and I are sitting by cage side, and it was one of those fights where we're like, oh!
Yeah.
Because the action was so close. You don't want to miss it.
Get ready. It's coming up next. MMA Rundown. Stick around.
Have you ever feared this happening? Or been annoyed when something like this has happened? One product can fix that. Secure Connect. Secure Connect keeps a retaining force against the plug, keeping it secured into the wall. You simply place each half of Secure Connect behind the plate, clip them around your cord, and push the yoke against the plug. That's it. You can use Secure Connect almost anywhere. Secure Connect provides the security you need with plugged-in electrical devices, and Secure Connect has earned the Good Housekeeping seal of quality. Every home in America needs Secure Connect. Order yours today. It's the MMA Rundown on ABC 23, and now it's time for the MMA Rundown Spotlight Fight.
Introducing first, in the red corner, standing at 6'2", with a record of 1-3-1, from Score Summit Muay Thai, Antwan, the Perfect Storm Penn! His opponent in the blue corner, standing at 5'9", with a record of 1-3-0, from Team Dayton Rumba MMA, Brett Shoenfelt!
Just notice on the back of Brett Shoenfelt a rather large five-finger death punch tattoo. Drew, welcome back to Cage Side.
Thank you very much.
Drew, I have very high hopes for this fight. I've had very high hopes for all these fights tonight, and I have yet to be disappointed.
You cannot be disappointed at Complete Devastation
Absolutely
MMA.
not. Drew, talking to Penn before the fight, he's a Muay Thai specialist. He is looking to throw all... Oh! Shoenfelt trying to take Penn to the cage, to the mat early. Penn also said that in addition to his Muay Thai, his jiu-jitsu is not bad at all. He seems like he's prepared for the fight to go anywhere.
Well, Shoenfelt is coming off a loss from his rematch with Josh Baker. And Penn is coming off a draw from June of 2012.
Shoenfelt fighting with the Dignan Brumbaugh fight team. Whoa!
I know there's a cage there, but we got to jerk back every time. Cause
we got the best seats in the house, my friend. Don't let him fool you.
I'm telling you what.
Oh, excellent punch by Penn. Drew, I don't know if it's a good idea for Shoenfelt to stand and try to trade with Penn.
I don't know. Sometimes in these conditions, I don't know if it's safe for us to be like this close to the cage.
But Drew, we are professionals. We are here to do the job.
Exactly.
No matter how.
That's
likely.
We knew the job was dangerous when we took it.
Absolutely. Not as dangerous as the job is in the cage. Not that dangerous. Oh! Penn pulls guard.
Wow!
Shoenfelt's corner is telling him to throw elbows here. That is perfectly legal in professional MMA. Oh, shit, it's a rampage jack. Drew Penn looks like he's working for a triangle. Charlie gathers in Shoenfelt's corner.
Shoenfelt's got to be careful of that. William Bookwalter checking on this very closely.
Excellent job by referees in all of them.
Keeping a close eye on the action here.
Corners are calling for elbows, Drew.
Oh!
Those strikes to the
Hard
head will
shot.
hurt.
Hard strike to the head.
Absolutely.
Charlie gathers, yelling at Shoenfelt to watch his neck.
Drew. Looks like Penn could have a guillotine choke.
Oh, and he escaped it. Still calling for elbows.
Yeah. Drew, we really have a vantage point that no one else in the crowd has here tonight. This is incredible.
I'll tell you what, except for the judges and the physicians at ringside and the commissioners and whatnot, we've got the best seats in the house. That's what I love about this. Ow!
Time, Greg.
Whoa.
I'm not sure if the fight's over if they're standing it again.
All right, telling
That knee was
Shoenfelt
brutal.
Telling Shoenfelt to go to the neutral corner. And Penn is down.
Drew, I couldn't see closely. Penn might have had an arm down. That with 3 points of contact on the mat, that knee would have been illegal. I can't tell.
All right, the
fight doc is looking at it.
Fight doctor, physician at ringside is here.
I don't want to have to stop it. Let me see your face, okay?
Oh, dear.
I think the debate right now is whether it was a clean knee or what's going on.
Executive Director Serb keeping Penn's corner out of the cage. They're after a knee like that, which they're giving Penn time to recover to make sure that again this fight is on a clear level of playing ground.
Exactly. They're checking the nose, and it seems every time the physician touches the nose, Penn just jerks away. So there's definitely some pain involved here.
This is some tenderness, Drew, but what a war now.
And I believe this is going.
Is Shoenfelt going to get a point deducted for that strike?
I am not exactly sure. We're just waiting right now to see what's. Minute and a half left in the bout.
Drew, it looks like this fight is going to continue.
Shake it off, Brett. Focus, Brett. Shake it off, Brett. Focus.
All right. Schoenfeld's corner telling him to focus and to shake it off right now.
Shoenfelt didn't want to hurt Penn any more than Penn wanted to hurt Shoenfelt in such a manner. You have to think Brett Shoenfelt is feeling a little bit of remorse for a strike he essentially couldn't help.
All right. We're going to get this fight underway again.
Joe, we have 1:30 left in the round.
And here we go.
Show of
It's
respect
back
from both
on.
fighters.
But then you got to expect, though, that now Shoenfelt knows where that bullseye is, and that's in the face
absolutely,
area.
Joe. And there is not a rule in regulation that can stop him from doing it.
That Penn grabbing onto the cage here for a moment. Referee's about ready to step in, but he let go real quick, so.
It looks like Shoenfelt wants to take him down again. And that's where Schoenfeld's wheelhouse really was. Once he got into the round, once he got into the mat, he started raining elbows, submission attempts. Oh.
Hard shot.
I really hope the cameras got the view of what we did, Drew, when that knee strike hit. That knee strike was flush. It looked brutal.
Well, again, that nose is going to be the bullseye now. That's going to be, that is definitely going to be Penn's Achilles heel.
Drew, Antwan Penn wants to end this fight now. The longer this fight goes on, the more that nose is going to swell, the less he's going to be able to breathe.
Exactly.
Schoenfeld's got the takedown.
Now, are we going to make it out of the first round?
I don't know. Excellent job by Antwan Penn for fighting and holding on.
Series of shots. Oh, shots in the head.
Pound coming from Shoenfelt. Shoenfelt smells blood, Drew. He's after it.
Taking it to Penn right now with Shoenfelt.
Those strikes are relentless, Drew. They won't stop.
Oh.
Elbows in the mix.
That's it. Wow.
Looks like Brett Shoenfelt stopped this fight by TKO, Drew, but we're going to let you go for the official decision.
Unbelievable.
Antwan Penn is hurting right now, Drew.
All right, the ring doctor's in there.
Move. Penn is hurting, Drew. He's hurt. Excellent show from both of our fighters, though. That was incredible.
Come on, bud. I want to help you out.
Shoenfelt helping Penn to his feet. And again, a very incredible show of respect from both guys. That was an absolute war, and I'm glad to have been sitting here catching all this. right, we are waiting for the official decision. Again, Brett Shoenfelt, as far as I can tell, TKO victory. But we'll get the official word from Drew. Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we have Andrew Osborne versus Tyler Superman Combs. The fights here in Clearfield, Pennsylvania are just incredible. I have no reason to believe that there's not going to continue in that fashion. Molly from Southern MMA in here looking on Antwan Penn. That fight was incredible. No one has any reason to feel ashamed about the way that fight turned out.
Way to be tough, Fred.
Dignan Brumbaugh from MMA is 2 for 3 for the night. Rob Lynn of RobLynn.org in taking pictures of the fight. He does weddings, sporting events.
I need a microphone to talk. Always helps to have the microphone. You get in the cage, take it out. Ladies and gentlemen, the referee stopped this bout at 3:57 of the first round. Your winner by TKO in the blue corner, Brett Shoenfelt.
I think.
With Brett here. Maybe just want to step in. All right, Brad. Unbelievable victory. I'm telling you what, we're going to talk over here. How you feeling, man?
Oh, dude, I feel great. I tell you, dude, I fought my last 3 pro fights under 10 days training each fight. You know, I have 4.5 months solid training for this, dude. I haven't felt so good before. It's been about a year since I felt this good. I'd like to sit here and thank everybody over here that came down and supported me. Scotty, I want to thank you, the sandbagging crew, for helping me lose weight for this fight, wrapping me up and all that. I appreciate it. I also want to say something to Kenny Phil, my dad's best friend, who passed away. I wish he's here to see this, dude. Thank you guys, I appreciate it.
All right, congratulations. Let's go, everybody.
Unbelievable fight. Antwan, the perfect storm, Penn, Brett Shoenfelt. Unreal, dude.
I talked to Penn's manager after the fight, and there was some question: was the knee that Shoenfelt launched at Penn, was it legal or not?
Right.
From where we were sitting, Penn might have had that third point of contact. Once you have that third point of contact, that knee would have been legal. But the referee talked to Shoenfelt about it. Shoenfelt had no intentions of illegally throwing any strikes. It was just unfortunate, but his manager did believe the fight would have gone a different direction had that strike not been landed.
Most definitely would have. There's no doubt about that. Incredible fight, and that's what you get when you attend these local mixed martial arts shows. Come on out to Complete Devastation MMA 7. That's coming up very soon, November 10th, Blair County Convention Center. Tickets available and more information available at CompleteDevastationMMA.com. You won't want to miss it. When local MMA comes to your town, go get a ticket and check out the great action. Right now, it's time to dip into our mailbag and see what you, the viewers, have to ask us.
Well,
Go for it.
The question is from Stephen O'Seal Mills. And Steve, thank you very much for watching. If you want to email us a question, do it at hosts@themmarundown.com. We'll go over through every email we get. The best ones are going to put on air. But Steve from O'Seal Mills says, guys, what is the best ending to a fight you've ever seen and why?
Oh, I'm going to let you field this one.
I've seen a lot of fights.
Because you have seen a lot of fights.
I have. I've seen a lot of fights. And the question is the best ending and why? Well, it's kind of a touchy subject. I mean, because I have a best fights for knockouts, best submissions, best decision, so on and so forth. But I think the one that just sticks out the most was Griffin versus Bonner at the Ultimate Fighter Finale 1. And I know I keep bringing up that fight, and it's because that is the single greatest fight in mixed martial arts history. These guys are throwing shots, both these guys are bleeding all over the cage. Neither guy would go down. It was such a dramatic fight. And when the decision was read that Griffin had won the fight, Bonner dropped to his knees, and you could just see the defeat in his face. It was really such an emotional moment. But he did get a contract awarded out of that, even though he lost the fight, which was huge. And so the Ultimate Fighter franchise got started, and that's why Drew and I are on TV today.
Exactly. Well, I was doing a pro wrestling thing before this, but that's kind of why I think I'm still here. I don't know. Coming up, our rundown lowdown. I'm stumbling over everything. Yeah, I'm a professional broadcaster. The rundown lowdown. Lenny Karlheim. This is post-fight from Complete Devastation MMA 6. We'll get his thoughts, his views on his fight and what's coming up next for Lenny. Stick around. You don't want to miss it. It's the MMA Rundown.
The referee stopped this bout at 1:31 of the second round. Your winner by submission by triangle choke in the blue corner, Lenny.
Looks like Clearfield, Pennsylvania are big supporters of Cody Karlheim. What an incredibly hard-fought win that was for Karlheim. Congratulations.
Lenny, take it over with you real quick. Lenny, another victory in a row. What do you think, man? How you feeling?
Doing great. So in this fight, I noticed Royce came back after that last loss. Really got my button here.
All right, well, it all paid off. Congratulations. Get up one more time for Lenny.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, still coming up, we got Billy Ward versus Ryan Glunt, Antwan Penn versus Brett Schoenfelt. We've got Andrew Osborne versus Tyler Combs, and of course, the main event, the rubber match, Eric Moon versus Tenya Dixon. It's all still coming up.
Another great interview.
I won't say pulling for Lenny, but that was such a back and forth fight because I think both guys had so much to prove. Hoy knew that he was the dominant striker. Lenny was coming off of a loss. He knew he had to make that up, and it was a great fight to be there in attendance to see.
All right. Well, coming up next week, more news, more notes, more fights.
I'm going to stop you right there.
You going to stop me right here?
If you guys want to know what's on the MMA Rundown next week, you tune in right here to this station, and we'll tell you. Then, and only then.
All right. Well,
tune in next week.
Tune in next week. It's the MMA Rundown. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next time.